Be a smarter agent. I love the fact that Leah kind of came up with this. What do we name the training? Smarter agent. Why? Because these things do make us smarter agents, and we do a better job. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to cover here. We're going to cover how to counsel and planning. Okay, and what counsel we seek. Foundation of a plan. The goals. There's 7 areas I think you should consider for goals. Why plan? What's the purpose of a plan? Plan for your real estate business. These are the times I'm planning on doing these, and I'll see if I can possibly do that. Because this stuff does excite me. Market plan. It's your marketing plan and getting momentum. How's that work? Calendar plan, and of course, momentum is the end. So, seek wise counsel. I think this is important in life, period. If, let's say, you're in a rough spot in your marriage, do you go talk to somebody that is struggling and going through a divorce right now about a strong marriage? Most likely not. Maybe so. It depends on the scenario. But you need to know the people. If you want to know how to invest money and your friend has payments on absolutely everything and no money in the bank, is that the one you talk to about how to manage your finances? Probably not. Okay, so you need to know and be careful about this, guys, in life. And I've made mistakes here and changed and gone through things in my own life, as I think everybody does. The fact of the matter is, are you receiving counsel from the right people? Especially if you're allowing them into your inner circle of advisors and friends. If you're hanging out with somebody and they're constantly the one that's advising, talking, what to do, how to do, that means they're in your inner circle as far as they're concerned. And the more you hear, the more you will take to heart, whether you intend to or not. It's amazing. So, if you want to keep your marriage strong and you've got a friend that likes to go to bars that are inappropriate for a healthy marriage, probably not who you want to be hanging out with. It's just one of those things. Doesn't mean you can't be friends. Doesn't mean you can't get a breakfast. Just probably not who you want to be hanging out with. You need to be objective. Have discernment in this area of your life, guys. If you do, you should gain. This is what you should gain from wise counsel. You'll have stability in life and business. You'll have inward nourishment and refreshment. You're going to be fruitful, and your productivity is going to be on a consistent basis. Strength and durability day to day. Success without excuses. A lot of this is from Maxwell's teachings and the things I read every morning. It's so spot on that I thought this would be important to talk about as we're looking at what are we going to do this year. Hey, if you got questions, seek wise counsel. Ask those that have plans, what they're doing, like me. I'm thrilled to share what I do, and when other folks are doing things, I want to hear what works. So I also meet with other agents that aren't even in our group that have been my friends for years. As we had or business planners. I think a lot of you know Mark Travalotti. I met with him yesterday for a breakfast and just discussed some of these things with him too. It's important. Structured foundation. If a house is going to stand, a business, anything is going to stand, does it not need a structured foundation? If we don't have a foundation in our lives, if we don't have roots, if a tree doesn't have roots that run deep or wide, it's going to tip over in a storm. And the fact of the matter is, I think 2023 is going to be a bit of a storm in real estate. It doesn't mean we're going to tip over. It means we need to know how to work it. It's just different. It doesn't mean we won't be successful, but it's different. And if we can't change with it, we won't be able to do well. So here's things you should do. Remember your why. Why do I do this? Why do I care? Why should I? Why? Why do I get out of bed in the morning? You got to ask yourself these things. Structural foundation for the end of the year should be based on written goals. A lot of people, come up with goals, and I'm guilty of it. I have lists of goals at the beginning of the year. The important thing is to prioritize and get those things down to where you can focus. So, what's the thing people don't do in life? A lot of people, they just don't stop and think. This comes from a very old training that is just so valuable still. It's from The Greatest Secret. And it's just that men don't stop and think. It's the biggest problem where people do not stop and think before they begin. And I mean, it's not too late. Guys, we're only in the first week of the new year. And so to me, the first month, honestly, January is the month to plan for the year. Figure it out, set it up, know how you're going to do it, and start getting your habits in place. So think before you begin. I have a hard time with this sometimes. And it's not that I don't like to just stop and think. It's just the whirlwind of life. Everything kicks in. I get distracted. Next thing I know, I'm not on it. So this is a huge part. Most people don't take the time to just stop and think. And we need to do it. Get in the quiet time. Get up earlier if you have to. Make it happen. So what will your year look like if you honor your commitments to yourself and others? These are questions to ask yourself. Is that the way you want to be after another year? Are you happy with where you are this year? And if you are, great, then maybe you just proceed and track it the same way and rock on. Beautiful. Most people have a few things they'd like to tweak, but others have tremendous things they'd like to tweak. I always have a ton of things I want to tweak for the next year and or change completely. Consider the fact that preparation and organization brings clarity and eliminates your stressors. So your why needs to bring direction. That's what it's there for. Okay. Goals. Your 7 areas to consider. I would like to take credit for this, all of it for myself again, but you guys know that I'm always looking and researching and whatnot. This comes from my daughter Paige's church, Trace Church, out in Colorado. We listen to it oftentimes on Sunday mornings to get a chance to hear her sing after I've been to church I go to. But anyway, her pastor was talking about a number of these things. And of course, because of that, spiritual was first. I get that. And you need to put these in the order that makes sense to you. But you need to consider things that are spiritual. You need to consider your family. How about physical? Nobody ever considers that. The gyms don't fill up at all this time of year, do they? And then they,
about February.
And 8 weeks, and then February, they're empty again. How about finances? Finance planning. Is that important? I think it's very important for business and personal. And this is, again, if people are having challenges here, I think it's important to look at things like the Dave Ramsey plans. If you are having financial challenges, or even if you're not, it's great to look at these guys that do a beautiful job with it, or get a financial advisor.
Just give a different perspective.
Absolutely.
We never thought about it that way.
And that's where Robert Kiyosaki also, for Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's a totally, they ram heads on a lot of things, because one is based on making your money on OP or other people's money. And there's a time and place for that. The other is really based on saving and investing, but not just putting money in the bank and letting it sit there.
Right.
If you do that, you typically are losing. So it's one of those things. How about, ever thought about friendships as a goal? I think a lot of people just assume that I have friends, I'm in a good spot, I'm happy with the friends I have. Okay. Are they the friends that are giving you that advice that you really want? Are they the people you should really hang out with? Just because people pursue you to be friends doesn't mean those are the ones you should be pursuing to hang out with. I think it's really important in life. And I've gotten caught by that, where the people that are calling all the time, it's like, then you feel bad for not going and hanging out with them. But it's like, reality is, really, these people I met, there's something special about them. I want to hang out with them. I want to learn more from them. So you're developing your inner circle and your friendships, guys, all the time. And it's the same thing in business. So business plan, this is a fun one to me. It's make my customers number one goal, my number one goal for them. That's just a no-brainer. If you do that as a kind of a number one thought process when you're doing your business planning, it makes a huge difference. What can you do to make their number one goal your number one goal for them? So now it's about their lifestyle. It's about being attentive, like it says on our websites, and what we think about. It's never about our opinion. It's heavily focused on their desires, right? So business plan, that is about your customers. But then there's also this business plan that's about what you do and how you approach the year. I think, and we're going to be addressing that as well. But consider this. A lot of people don't go to this next part, which is there are some things that we need to start. There are some things we need to stop. We just need to stop. And, that's why it's interesting when a lot of groups will get together and even fast certain things for the first, 3 weeks or first month of the year. I think a dry January is a brilliant start to reset your body and reset your clock if you drink alcohol. I think it's just a wise choice. And then there are other things we need to fix. There are other things we need to change. And if we just lay out all of our goals on paper, that's beautiful. But then go to that last point and consider that in everything that you wrote down. I'm still at this phase right here. I've done this. I've written it all out. I shared it with Leah, but it's almost 2 pages. So it takes some narrowing down. So then, I have to come to here, which is what should I start? What should I stop? What should I fix? What should I change? Just like I know one of the things this year for darn sure, within the next 30 days, I'll have a new CRM in place that's going to work. And Joey and I have been working on these things for a year. But it takes time.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate Joey's counsel in my life. So he's in my inner circle, right? And so are you guys. So here we are. So why plan? It creates confidence. It just does. If you don't have a plan in life, it's interesting to hear the different personality traits, right? Because everybody does think differently. And it's taken me a while to come to the understanding that not everybody thinks the way I do. Gosh, imagine that. Everybody doesn't have the attitudes that I do. Okay. And so there are those that do look at the negatives in life and it really weighs on them. And that's different. And then they don't have a plan because they consider themselves to be free spirits. And Dave Ramsey, you'll get into this, the free spirit's the one that just goes and buys whatever they feel like because they felt like they should. It's so interesting. Versus the planner that has a budget that goes, no, here's our budget and I'm sticking to it. So it helps you remember the basics, right? I should probably start looking at my time because I can really go on and on about these things. Okay. Helps you remember the basics. So preparation, pricing, promotion, these are the basics for real estate. And here's the other thing, guys. Don't forget, we say we're realtors. We're really marketers. We are marketers. If we don't market and we're not marketers, we're missing the boat. We're just flat out missing the boat in what we do. We have to market. Okay. So it can be how you differentiate yourself. This is always number one, your USP, which is your universal sales proposition. And you need to have your own. It needs to be unique. And I don't care what it is. It can be, hey, I am a bicyclist. And because I'm a bicyclist, I ride 28 miles a day and I'm a member of 5 biking clubs and you should work with me because I'm a bicyclist.
I know all of your neighborhoods very well.
Right. I know all your streets. Or I fish. Or I golf. Or I'll sell your home in 90 days or I'll sell it for free. Or there are those, I'll sell your home in 30 days or I'll buy it. That definitely has to have an asterisk and a big asterisk and caveat. But I did that one for a long time. And I was serious. But the fact of the matter is I had a big line of credit just in case I got stuck with one or more. And the fact of the matter again is just making sure you've got it in good order and create it for yourself. So separate yourself from the crowd with purpose. It helps you remember your value, your education, and your training when you have a plan, guys. Purpose. Purpose will motivate you. It'll keep your priorities straight. It'll help you develop your potential. It will give you the power to live in the present. A purpose will help you evaluate your progress. And that is the same thing with planning and goals, guys. This is, again, John Maxwell. Break. Break's over. Business plan. It's time to plan, guys. So this is a multi-part plan. We need to have income goals. If we don't know what income we would really like to hit, how do we reach for it? Okay. And, the basic income can come from just tracking your expenses first, and then multiplying that by 12. That's what you have to have, which should be everything from your groceries on down, right? But now it should also include other things like your marketing and how we're going to spend money or your time. Okay, so we need to determine how many listings we need, how many buyers we need, or I do know folks, even though I always push for folks to get listings, I know people that are specifically targeting buyers. They only want to work with buyers because they can't handle the pressure of working with sellers and listings. And there is a lot of pressure that comes from listings if a home doesn't sell specifically. So then what your objectives are with the plan. And then we're going to get into marketing, lead generation, and of course the time block calendar that all of you have seen. So let's go right to income goals. And this is from Floyd Wickman training, but it's basic, it's good. This is the one I've always seen across the boards. In every book I've read, it comes down to this: your income goal for the next 12 months. What is it? And this, you could take this and actually just draw a line beside it and fill it out, as you should. Okay, and then commission earned for closing. What's your average? There should be a line and fill it in. If it's been 0, you know what you really need to do, right? You need to get some going. And if it's just 1, that's okay. Make it that was your average for last year, but you need to know what it needs to be for this year to put you in a better place. So number of closings required to reach your goal. This is a simple one. You divide this by this, right? Line 1 by line 2. That's all there is to it. Think of this as one of the government tax forms. Number of sales required to hit my goal. Now you multiply line 3 by 0.25 if you're like me, because you only want a quarter of your sales to be from buyers, and that's me. Doesn't mean this is the only way, guys. It could be 100%. And that's okay. Again, there are those that only want to work with buyers because it's quick, it's easier. Usually it's quick, but oftentimes you have to nurture as well. So there are those things. Number of listings required to close to hit my goal. This is listings. I personally, I want my listings to be 3/4 of my sales. That's my goal. Okay, you guys can do that however yours needs to be, but again, it would be line 3 by 0.75 then, right? So you can play with these numbers. If it's 50-50, maybe newer agents, it's going to be 80% are going to be buyers and only 20% are listings. But just because you're new doesn't mean you can't get listings. It just depends. It's like I've always talked about going door knocking and things, doing things that other agents get lazy or just unwilling to do. Why not do those things? If you do that in your target areas, you'll get sales that other people won't. And, walk the neighborhoods you want to work, say hi to people. Don't dress in your real estate garb when you're doing that. On that end, dress like one of the neighbors. You're just walking the neighborhood saying hi. Okay. Doesn't mean dress like a bum, but dress so they want to talk to you. If you've got a dog, walk your dog in the neighborhood. Oh my gosh, people always want to say hi to your dog. It is what it is, or they'll shy away from it. Anyway, you'll find the difference. So a good this is my line of thinking. Okay, guys, a good agent's income goal should be 75% listings sold, 25% sales. If you get to this point, you'll survive in any market that hits us. Absolutely any market. There's no way not to. I know agents that this is all they do. They're only listing agents. They pass off all of their buyers leads. They don't want them. And there's a reason for that. Buyers leads take so much time. You're driving everywhere. It's a different beast. So let's think about this. You have a buyer. You meet them, and if you follow the right process, you should try to meet them here first. A lot of agents aren't following my thinking on this, but it's a good one. The only other first would be they found a property they want to see. They're not qualified. They haven't done anything. It's an introduction time. Meet them at that property. Show it to them. That's your introduction. You get a chance to put your hand in theirs. So it's a connection. Without that connection, if you try and get other things out of them before that, typically they're going to clam up, they're going to lie to you. The old comment of buyers are liars starts coming out, all of those kinds of things. So it's important to know that that would be your first. Then you want to meet them in here, encourage them to come in here, tour on the big screen so you're not turning tires as much.
Yeah.
Then set up exactly what they want, fill in exactly what they want. If they want to do those things online with you, you can, but it's just a process. The more you're face to face with them, the better off you're going to be. So it's a process, but it takes time. And then you're out showing them. What's your max on a showing, Joey, for one buyer?
What do you mean?
How many properties did you show a buyer before they bought?
Maxim?
Maximum.
Well, there ain't no max.
Okay, I have been probably close to 60
Yeah.
with one buyer.
I had 40 this past year.
Well, I worked with one buyer for 4 years before they bought.
Yeah.
But they did buy, and I knew they would.
Right.
It was just the right one. But it's brutal. Listings.
Like,
You take a listing. Well, and there are the rare ones
Yeah.
where they tell you exactly what they want. They have to move, they have to relocate. You take them to it, hook, set, sold, done. That is, well, that's where people think real estate's easy. People think real estate's easy though. Right. But it's not easy. So now, how far do you have to run if it's your listing?
Not far. Run to your
Go
listing.
to that listing. You make sure and help these folks get their home in order. You show them our seller's guide that's in app files, all of those. You go through the right processes with them. You line up a photographer, or if you're an excellent photographer yourself, take the pictures, make sure they're professional, and whatever you need to do, get it listed in the MLS. Every other agent's working for you, and you're in the office working towards your next listing. While you have that listing, just saying. Or you're working with a buyer at that point now. So average percent of listings taken that closed during the listing period. These are things that you need to know. If you take a listing, and or if you haven't, you can look at our office. How many of our listings actually closed in their listing period? In other words, did not expire. Okay. And I think what you're going to find in our office is darn near 100%.
You don't have any expired listings last year.
Right.
Which would have been shocking.
Because if you do have expired listings, then it does fall on you that you didn't price it right, or you let the seller say, here's what it's worth, when you're the professional and you took the listing and you spent your time and money, and if it expired, you get nothing. Where's the advantage in that? I don't understand. So
The expired is not withdrawn. Correct.
withdrawn is different.
Right.
Expired means the term
Yeah,
actually
the
came into
actual term,
fruition.
that's right,
Ended.
yeah. Mentally.
Withdrawn is different
Like
because
something happened.
something occurred.
Or
Right.
you fired them.
They got a
Yeah, one of the
divorce,
two.
you know, whatever. I always go 6 months.
Yeah.
If somebody wants me to go less, I say no. I work too hard for that.
It's on the listing agreement, you can set.
Okay, so now, number of sales contracts, and those are questions we can answer, you know, in a listing class. Number of sales contracts needed to write in the next 12 months. Divide your line 4 by line 7. So it's simple. Or you don't need to divide it if those numbers, line 4 is accurate every time, right? Line 4, number of sales required to hit my goal. Line 7, number that will close, right? So it just depends on if they don't. But here's the other thing, maybe you should kick in there is withdrawn. I've had a couple withdrawals last year, but it was divorce and other issues in their lives. It was nothing that we did. And some of those you'll get your fee from for cancellation. Others, they know there's a fee to be paid and they go broke and won't even pay that. And, you know, then you need to make a business decision. For me, it's not worth chasing. I'd rather have their referral. So appointments needed to obtain one listing. Why would this be important? If you don't understand that you're not going to get every listing you go on, it's one of those things. Personally, I assume I'm going to get every single listing that I go on. If I'm going on a listing, it's to get that listing and to help those people get their home sold. If they're going to see other agents, I typically ask them, can I be last? If they list with one of them before they ever meet with me, shame on them. But if they don't and I'm the last one in the door, then it's easy. Why would you list with anyone other than me? What have I not explained properly? Will you go ahead and get this going today? I mean, there's just ways of closing those things appropriately. And you assume the sale, you assume the listing, right? If we don't, we're not doing our job because people aren't feeling the confidence that we need to, we need to reverberate that. It needs to be just clearly that we're confident, we'll do the best job. Why don't you go ahead and sign right here and we'll get started today.
Mhm.
It's easy. And that's one of those times where I will bring hard copy if I'm sitting with them, because I want them to sign there. If not, you take the risk of sending it to them electronically an hour or two later and they've changed their mind. No, sales is about the iron's hot now. They're ready to sign. Once they sign, I swear you can watch people go, okay, I did it. It's a relief, okay? So you're helping them, but you need to determine how many appointments do I need to obtain for one listing. And as you market yourself more, you will get appointments where you don't get the listings. It happens. Number of contacts needed to obtain one appointment. Is that not an interesting breakdown for you?
Mhm.
How many people do I need to know to get an appointment? How many people do I need to say hi to? How many people do I need to put my card on their door or knock on their door or send a mailing or an email or a personal phone call to get one appointment? Count those things, guys. Make them make sense to you. Okay. One of the things I love about our accounting system that we're using now, the QuickBooks Online, it tracks our expenditures, what we're doing. Is there a good production from the sales of the agents that make these things worthwhile? It's important stuff to consider in our lives. So, what are the objectives? This is a totally different, now, you already did the other ones, but now, the objectives are number of new listings I'll need to obtain in the next 12 months to hit my goals. So up above, you divide line 5 by line 6. Did I click up there? Oops,
Oh.
wrong way.
No touch.
Uh-oh, there's something, line 5 by line 6. So it
Okay.
would be number of listings required to hit my goal by average percentage of listings taken. It gives you, go ahead, Leah, you're driving. It's easier on that arrow button than this. So you need to know that. How many do you need to obtain? If you've gone through your first 30 days and you haven't gotten any listings yet, and you said, gosh, I need one a month, that's not what you need. What you need is 12 a year if you're going for one a month. So that means February, get 2.
Mhm.
Don't be, "Oh, I failed." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But if you don't have a goal and a plan, yeah, you're gonna fail. It's the way it is. Because then you're just flying by the seat of your pants. Maybe I'll get some, maybe I won't. I don't know. Okay, well, let's know. Number of listing appointments needed annually. Gee, is that important? How many listings do you need? How many do you get? Right? Important things to know. Number of listing appointments I need per month. Now, if we're just leaving that to luck of the draw, maybe I'll get a listing appointment, maybe I won't. Maybe somebody will call me. I'll wait till they call me. I'll wait till my phone rings. Okay, if you've been in business for a very long time and you have a big referral base, yes, they will call you. But there's still lulls when they don't. So, okay, I've been doing this for a long time, guys. God bless you. What do I do if my phone's not ringing? Have you heard me say this enough?
Big calls.
I use it to make calls. And even if my phone is ringing, when it's not and I'm in the car, I'm calling people. And it's typically just to say hi, how's it going? It's not discussing real estate. Everybody knows what I do. Inevitably, I mean, I walked the dog this morning, talked to one of the neighbors. They asked me how the market's going. Never fails. I was able to talk to him for about 15 minutes before I said, hey, if you want to talk tomorrow, we'll get together and have a cup of coffee, man. I've got a roll. But they were interested in our new listing that we were taking down the street. Okay, good stuff. And they have a friend that might be interested in it. But I was out in the community. Get out in the community, guys. Number of listing appointments needed per week. You need to know what they are. How many do you need a month? How many do you need a week? This is a simple breakdown, is it not? This isn't brain surgery. But if we don't do it this way, again, we're flying by the seat of our pants. Number of contacts. Here's the biggie. Number of contacts needed per week to reach my listing goal. If you know you only need to talk to 5 people, and gee, somewhere in that 5, you're gonna get a referral for a listing because they're very active in the community. Maybe they're a banker, whatever they do, okay? Typically, actually, what I love is, they're a grocery, what do they call it? Checkout girl.
Cashier.
Cashier, thank you. They're a cashier. Talk to everybody. Oh my gosh, those are great people to talk to and see if they can help you. And, you know, we can't give them much, but we can give them a $25 gift when we get listings, can't we? Does that mean much to people?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what means almost as much as a $25 gift? A handwritten note saying, thank you. Thank you. And people forget to do that. They get referrals from people and the people never hear anything from them again. Okay, I'm gonna eat lunch on that all day long, every day, because the people are gonna talk to me and go, man, I can't believe it. I was giving this guy my leads. Never even thanked them. It's like, oh, wow. Well, if you do that to me, you're gonna get a call probably once a week or at least once a month, because I'm gonna wanna know how you're doing, how's the family, what's going on, and thank you so much. And can I buy you a lunch? Right? It's important to do. All right, next, Leah.
I'm not even watching it, I know something happened.
Great. Okay, look at this, marketing lead generation plan. Guys, we have talked about this in here over and over again, and we're going to keep talking about it because we need the reminders. I need the reminders as well. And so let's get right into it. What marketing will you do to reach your goals and fulfill your plan? This isn't me saying, hey guys, this is what I do and you should do it. If I do say this is what I do, that's just because that's what I do. You guys need to figure out what you're going to do, and you're the only one that knows what you're willing to do for your success. It's not my success. This is for your success. Everything I do here even is for your success. I want you to do well, but that big part, track yourself. If you don't track yourself, you have no idea. So this also goes to our time blocking that we'll get into, but that tracking yourself, honestly, when you first start, guys, take a day, every 15 minutes. Or, you know, if you're on a phone call for 30 minutes, you block that 30 minutes and say it was one phone call.
Yeah.
And track it for the time period that you're saying is your work time, and or how about the whole day? And if it gets into evening hours, it can be TV show for an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Hung out with my kids for 3 hours. Ding, ding, ding. Perfect. You know, it's what we want to do. But that's important to track. So what do we do for marketing? I always talk about door knocking, and it's the thing I talk about because it's the thing people do the least. Most people are afraid to do it, won't do it, don't know what to do with it, are saying, I knock on a door, I'm talking to a complete stranger. It's easier than cold calling, guys. They have to actually take the physical effort of shutting a door instead of just hanging up a phone. Okay.
When it comes to door knocking, what I've been doing when I have gone out, I'll knock on like 5 doors. And I think I'm going right after 5, and right before the sun sets. But when I'm out there, I'm like, people are cooking dinner. Like if I'm lucky if one person opens their door, and I'm leaving notes with my business card.
Okay. So what we need to do is figure out what time works the best when you have enough energy to actually come out with that energy and exude it to others. And, you know, still have your excitement up about what you do, and bring materials, bring current data with you on the neighborhood. Not on what you do and how wonderful you are, on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Of course, your information is attached to it, but it's not about, hey, I'm number one, I'm the best. You want to work with me because I'm honest and, you know, you can trust my intent. No.
Platinum Gold Star 100.
Right. They want to know about the neighborhood, guys, and what's going on in their neighborhood. What's going on with the sale that just happened down the street.
If you bring value.
Right. Bring value. But the timing does matter. You need to know your neighborhood. Is it young professionals? If so, they're going to work early. They're rushing to get the kids out. And then they are maybe going to soccer practice, and you need to know they're going to be home at maybe 4:45, maybe 5:30. It gets dark by 6. You only have 30 minutes in that neighborhood. And you knock on as many doors as you can in that neighborhood, but it's not how many you can knock on. It's the quality. So if you knock on 3 and you get to talk to 3 people, stop, leave, do it again the next day. Yes.
That's where I've been going through and mapping out the neighborhoods and seeing who's been in there longer than 4 years,
Sure.
preferably 6+.
Well, and that helps too. And you know, who's a renter? As the fact of the matter is, it's hard to tell, but a lot of folks, even if they own it, are gonna just say, "Oh, you're in real estate, I rent." Okay, so put on the armor of God, as I always say. Just put on your thick skin, your big boy panties. Understand people are not going to all want to work with you. They're not all going to be glad you're there. They had a terrible day at work. They're going through a divorce. They're fighting with their kids. They kicked the dog when they came home, and they just burned dinner and spilled things on the floor and the door knocked.
Yep.
Oh, well, you need to, when you walk away, go, oh man, they're having a really bad day. Next door, instead of anything about you, because it's not about you. Okay, so that's important. And I can do an entire training on door knocking because it's fun, and or we can go do it together. I get a kick out of it. Social media. Everybody wants to do social media because it's the easiest. And you can hide behind your computer and nobody really has to get to know you. And you don't put your hand in anybody's hand, so there's no chance of getting COVID or getting sick or the flu or whatever. And it works if they know you. If they don't know you, social media usually doesn't get a ton of hits unless you happen to be marketing a property that they love.
Yeah.
So here's my suggestion, and I'm going to rattle through these though. Social media, if you don't have a listing, pick a neighborhood, a new neighborhood that's doing amazing things. Go visit it, video it down here, next 3, video it, make ads about it yourself. You're that neighborhood expert. Nobody needs to know you just saw that neighborhood yesterday. So what? Become the neighborhood expert overnight. Visit all the builders, get all their information, talk about their pricing in that neighborhood, the amazing amenities in the neighborhood. If you're doing this on social media on a daily basis, people will assume you work that neighborhood like crazy. You must sell at a ton. So that's the way to do it. Okay. To sit at home and go, well, I guess I'll go to the beach today. Nothing happening here. My phone's not ringing. I don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, you guys haven't been listening to me, and that's okay. Call me. Say, I don't know what to do today. I will help you with what to do. Okay. It's easy. Networking. This is the other biggie. It's clubs. It's social groups. It's volunteering. It creates your sphere of influence, right? So if you're in a club, it's great if you just show up and you enjoy the time in the club. What a difference it is if you were there to help set up tables and chairs. When it was the marching band for my daughters, it's just who I am. But when I got there, I realized that they were having a hard time getting trailers loaded and stuff, and the equipment moved, and so my strong suit, no problem. Let's load. So instead of taking charge of other things, I just started loading. Next thing I know, I'm in charge of all of the Lakewood Ranch hands, the Mustangs that do everything to that, and setting up for everything. And then they're asking me to talk. But anyway, it's volunteering, and you get to know people. The more you get to know people, that's your sphere of influence. I get so much business still from those 5+ years that I worked with the marching band. It's unbelievable. It doesn't end. And they even still, it's so funny. Anyway, next. Get involved, guys, and get involved in the community. So calendar planning creates habits, right? If you don't have it on your calendar, what's the chances of actually doing it? You should have tracked yourself for at least a week last year. I told all you guys to do it. And in our time blocking calendars, if you guys remember me talking about time blocking calendars and the dot calendars and all of those fun things about what you can do. If you didn't, okay, do it this week. Start next week. Just do it. Do it now. And you need to understand, when do you have the most energy? And this is what you're going to figure out when you do this. When do you have the most energy? When are you ready to meet others? You need to know your own boundaries, your standards. How do you spend your time? That's what it tells you. If you don't do these things, you just are flying by the seat of your pants again, thinking, hey, I know about 5:30, I finally have some energy. Come on. If you were working for somebody else, you got to be in the office by 7:30 or 8 a.m., 9 o'clock at the latest, and you start your business day. They tell you what to do when. You're your own boss now. Guess what? Start your business day. That doesn't mean, well, I was tired. I slept till 11 o'clock today, but I'll make up for it. You can't. Those hours are gone. And it's just like life. You can't make up for last year. It's gone. Now you can make new choices this year. If you find that you made bad choices, make other ones. It's okay. Just make another choice. What lead generation items must be recurring to meet your goals? That's pretty important to really think about. And time block for them. And this is huge. If you erase it because I slept in, I had a lunch with friends, don't just make it go away. You replace it that day. Otherwise, it's just an excuse. Why don't I have business? That's just an excuse. There's excuses for why you don't have business. It's I didn't feel like it. I didn't do it. And basically the bottom line is in sales, it means you didn't do it. So pick what you know you're going to do and do it. And it can be mailings, but let's go there. I'm going to stop here for just a moment. The way we market, it can be mailings, but typically that's just hey, I'm in your neighborhood.
Mhm.
When people see the mailing and then you're walking your dog through the neighborhood or whatever it may be, you're exercising in the neighborhood, they see you. That's the ticket. Okay. You knock on a door. Hey, I'm just checking to see if my marketing was working. I sent out some postcards. Did you get it? Most people go, no, because they're sorting their mail at the bed. Right. Yeah. Junk. Never send out the huge glossies and waste your money. Never write out a handwritten big long letter to people that you sign and you do a big envelope, handwritten, all the addresses and a real stamp. You'll do it once. That doesn't work. It's consistent. Very, very small postcards that you're not putting a lot of effort into. If anything, there was a small handwritten thing on it that just says, looking forward to meeting you. Same thing with your door knockers. You can do a fancy one side, the back side, I typically have always left blank. On that back side, it's, hey, I'm your neighbor. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Please give me a call, Ken.
Mhm.
Or you can even have them printed out where it looks like you signed it. But anyway, one of those things. I like to do it in blue though and smear it just a little bit. I do.
Well,
It
yeah,
shows
'cause
it's
when you're a
real.
candy driver,
It's real. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, don't make excuses, guys. Set specific appointments that have to be entered and updated. Okay. And this is not a to-do list. This is targeted usage of your time. Okay. So now is when we want to organize that, prioritize it, and then focus on it. Okay, that's the way it works. And I have this written on my whiteboard in my office because you guys know I am a bit ADHD, which means I will squirrel. I will be doing something and it's like, stop, can't focus, be in the moment. You're here
The
to
next
do
thing
it.
you know, you're fixing your mini fridge. And you're like,
Right. How did I get here?
here.
Why am I stocking the water? Exactly. Yeah, why am I sweeping the front porch? Anyway, yeah. So once outlined on a piece of paper, don't do it in your electronics initially. Do it on a piece of paper. So it's physical and it's in front of you. Then put it in your electronic calendars. Okay. Make your categories broad. So like in mine, it's simple. It'll be staff meeting that's recurring with our staff here once a week. That's only 15 to 30 minutes now because we've gotten things in order. Great. Next part. Targeting listings, lead generation. Next part, maintenance. Maintenance isn't building maintenance. Maintenance is I'm paying attention to our listings and our buyers, and do I have everything in their hands that I should have? And they're big, broad categories, okay? And then you put your little detailed to-do lists within those categories. But when that category comes up on a daily basis, you're going, that's what I was supposed to be doing right now. And yeah, darn. I guess I got a little sunburn here. Maybe I should go do it. Come on. if you wanna meet your goals, do it, but you have to create the habits. And again, most people will fail on their goals by mid-February. Not if you put it in your calendar, and not if you make it a habit, okay? So, important. Now, this is where it comes down to momentum. Once you create momentum, you're rolling, but momentum is created by continuous activity, not one and done. It's not that one mailing that went out and you sit down and you go, well, somebody will call me now. No, they're all gonna end up in the trash. You just said hi. Consider this, if you stop working out for several weeks after doing it for months, you basically start over again. You've got the same pain, the struggle starts over again, and it's no different in sales and marketing. You start over again. In real estate, if you work your hiney off for 6 months and you take a month off, what happens? You just started over again. Your momentum's gone. And be excited. Push yourself to be excited. And this is real about the way you get up. I'm alive, I'm awake, and I feel great. I got another day on the right side of the grass. Yes, let's do this. That is sales and sales training. When I was in high school, these were the way they taught us with how to sell Mary Gable water conditioners. First thing you get up in the morning, get in front of the mirror. And I still do it because it makes me laugh. I'm alive, I'm awake, and I feel great. And I'm looking at bags under my eyes and red eyes. I am alive. I am awake. By the third time you laugh and go, okay, game on. Let's do this. Right. But it's one of those things. The other thing that I do for myself too is, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Doesn't matter if I'm washing the boathouse roof for 4 hours one day so I can get it on. It's a matter of I'll sit down, I'll take a break, and my thought in my head, darn near as soon as I sit down, because I am a lot like Joey. It's like what I'm not doing now. What I did before doesn't count. It's what am I doing now? But I'll go, it's not going to get done by itself. Let's get on it. Let's get it. Get it. That's the way my brain works. Get it. So let's get it, guys. Keep your momentum, focus your intensity by putting others first. If you don't reach those that you could help, here's the sad thing. If you know other agents, and you know, once you're in it for a while, you'll get to know a lot of agents. If you see them get a listing in an area or from somebody that you know, and you know you're a far better agent than they are, you really care about people, and you'll do a better job representing those people than they would, and they got the listing. You should feel bad about it. They need you. But the fact of the matter is you didn't do your job. So the other people did. They ate, you don't. And that's sales. Some eat, some don't. Let's have a good meal every day. And at the end of the year, you're gonna look back and go, I did what? How much? How'd that happen? It's the way it works. All you're doing is taking care of people, meeting their needs, and the money will come. It's the way it works. It just does. And if it doesn't, it means you're not doing your job. It's all it means. And you need to know that this is a job. I know a lot of people get their real estate license and they think, I got my license, now I'm going to make money, show me the money. No, it's a job and you have to work it. If you don't work it, you won't make anything. It's the easiest low-paying job in the world, and it's one of the hardest, one of the most difficult, highest paying jobs there is. You can do really well with this business, but it's up to you.